Hello, everybody, and welcome back to It All Depends on the Situation. I am your host, once again, Eric, and today I'm having actually two guests with me on this edition of Pokemon Masters Roundtable. To my left, first time on the pod, is my good buddy James.
Hello.
All right, and across the table from me is my lovely wife, Ashley.
Hi, again.
So, and we're diving back down, the nostalgic rabbit hole that is Pokemon, one of our favorite fandoms. Well, James, since you're the new one here, I gotta ask you, out of the original three starters, which one are you going with?
I'm going with Charmander.
Charmander? Oh, that's a shame. Well, you're in good company with Ashley.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Yes, thank you.
yeah.
I feel vindicated, thank you.
So we got some Charmander fans in the house.
Of course.
So recently, James's daughter just had a birthday, and we were looking for special gifts to give him. James reached out to me and said, hey, you know, she's getting into stuffed animals, and she really likes Pokemon. So I'm like, put two and two together. I go out and get the original three starters as a present for her. So we go over to James's house, and James, I'll let you tell the rest of this story.
Oh, yeah. When it came time to open the gifts, we put them out, and we took her about 5 feet away.
Mm-hmm.
Which one do you want? So she went up to it, and you could see her studying each one.
Yep, very carefully looking
Very
at
carefully.
each one.
And then she chose Charmander.
Yep,
Yay!
And I was so excited.
there we go. Like father, like daughter.
Oh, yeah.
I was so happy when he showed me that video, because he's razzed me for years
About
about
Charmander?
picking Charmander as my starter.
I'm holding up the Squirtle fort here all by myself. So
Squirtle Squad.
Squirtle
Squirtle
Island.
Squad.
That's right.
That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
That's right, baby. I'm still holding up the Squirtle flag.
That's okay.
I'm on a lonely island here. Sean's with me, though.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
we'll have him on another Pokemon pod in the future here. But yeah, we're going to dive way back into Pokemania again. And James, let's go back to that time we first got into all this stuff. What got you into Pokemon way back when?
To be honest, I think it was you.
Really?
I remember the Lunchables.
Oh,
They
yeah.
had the little plastic or little cardboard
cutouts?
and it's like, oh, what are these things? And we're like, let's cut them out. And we like battled them, which I don't know how we battled these cardboard cards.
Used our imagination as best we could.
Yeah, and I think there's only a few of them.
Mm-hmm.
I remember Machop was on one.
Yep.
I think Oddish was on another.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I barely got Lunchables, but when I got the Lunchable, I'm like, I want a Lunchable. Mom was like, why? I'm like, because there's Pokemon on the back. And yeah, I remember we used to just have like 3 or 4 of them, and they got all crinkled and wet.
Oh, yeah.
But they were the best.
They were all beat to crap because we used them so much.
Yeah,
I can imagine.
We took like little Play Place Pokeball or like Play Place balls from McDonald's and just basically cut them out so it looked like Pac-Man, painted the bottom white, and put the little cutouts of the Lunchables in there, and boom, we'd have a Pokeball.
That's pretty creative, though.
So, right? Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Resourceful.
A 4th grade mind.
Oh, yeah. So we would go out to the blacktop and be like, yeah, go Charmander, go Squirtle. So I think there were 3 different Lunchables that had like different sets of Pokemon back then. The thing that got me into it, I think, really was obviously the games. I go over to Sean's house and play Red version all the time. And then the anime. Like I said, the anime came out, and it's like 10-year-olds can get a beginner's license. And it was like rated our demographic at the right time.
Well, that's what got me into it, too, was the anime, because I remember, like I said in the last one, like before 4th grade, I'm like, what is this? It was I thought they were cute. So I was like, oh my God, I got to watch this all the time.
Yeah, I remember the cartoon watch. I would stay at like my grandma sometimes, and I would wake up, watch that because it was Pokemon and then like Jackie Chan Adventures.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I love Jackie Chan Adventures.
I wanted one of those talons so
Me
bad.
too.
The talismans that would
Yes.
bring up power.
Yeah.
Yes.
I wanted one of those.
They had some great shows back then. My gosh, bring those back. Actually, I think a lot of them are available on Netflix now. So,
Yes.
which is kind of cool to go back and rewatch. So I think Amazon Prime actually has, or they have like a Pokemon subscription channel for like
They
$3 a
do.
month, so you can actually watch like the later episodes. So
Yeah, I started watching the episodes again. I'm on season 2. I've watched season 1 so many times, so I'm like, I'm going to watch season 2 because not season 2. That's the Orange Island ones.
yep,
The whole Mandela effect is like no one remembers these.
yeah, and that's one of my favorite animes like seasons.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I can't remember any of them.
Really?
I don't know why.
The Pink and Island episode.
Yeah.
The
See, that's
Crystal
that's
Onyx?
one of my favorite ones was the Pink and Island, because all the Pokemon were pink.
Yeah, I can't remember a single one.
Really?
I don't know why.
Jeez.
Maybe I got dropped in my head. I don't know.
Now, they never really aired that one all that much, too, which is the wild thing. And I guess, like, I think they said that one really wasn't canon or something. I'm not sure.
I always wanted in Pokemon Go, I don't know if they'll probably never do it, to have the Pink and Island Pokemon in Pokemon Go.
Yep. And the Crystalonics and the Pudgy Pidgeys, the Pudgy Pidgey Island.
Oh, that would be so
Those really
funny.
fat-ass Pidgeys. They're, like, literally, like, the size of this table. They're just giant, fat fucks.
I forgot.
I don't think they could fly because they were so fat.
That's right. Oh, God.
Pudgy Pidgey, man. Get yourself a Pudgy Pidgey. Probably break the Pokeball.
Probably.
So I asked my brother-in-law about the second season, and he's like, wait a minute, Orange Islands? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, Brownie mentioned it to me. I'm like, I don't remember any of it. He goes, I don't remember it either. I go, I don't know what it is. I don't know.
That's so weird.
Yep. That was one of the more defining seasons because that's where Charizard ended up beginning to listen to Ash, was in the Orange Island episodes because he got like frozen all the way down to the tail.
Yeah.
And Ash basically like rubbed him like crazy in order to gain his trust.
I remember that.
Yes, that's Orange Island. So you do remember some of it then.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Yeah. And he also caught a Snorlax too.
Yeah, I remember the Snorlax.
Yep. So he was like eating a whole bunch of like grapefruits or something on an island and like swimming back and forth. And I'm like, dang, Snorlax is like athletic.
When did Ash get Lapras?
That was the beginning of Orange Island. So Lapras is getting beaten up by these three guys for some reason. And Ash and Tracy like jump into action, like save this Lapras.
So maybe I do remember some of it. I just don't remember it being Orange Island.
And wasn't Lapras another one of his Pokemon that he got rid of? Or he let go? Or
He kind of like semi-adopted because they needed like a source of transportation to get from island to island. So I'm sure they're just like, here, let's introduce
But wasn't there an
Lapras.
episode where Lapras goes back to its family?
They find Lapras' family and they let Lapras
Yeah,
go.
actually, I thought so.
So
That and the
Kills me.
Butterfree episode.
But, oh, yeah, we talked about that last time. Bye bye, Butterfree. I cannot.
my.
I can't.
at the very beginning of Orange Island, guess who he lets go? It's another Pokemon.
I'm trying to remember. I don't
Pidgeotto evolved into a Pidgeot and he let him go in the same episode.
really.
Yes. The very beginning, right before Orange Island, it was like that episode where he lets go. And I'm just like, Pidgeotto is one of his most loyal Pokemon.
I know.
And it's just like, Ash, what are you doing, man?
He doesn't know. That's why it took him 20 years to become a Pokemon master.
Telling you.
That's why he was 10 years old for 20 years.
Somebody said his new like drawing design looks like a bunch of noodles. I'm just like, I can't help but laugh.
So we looked into that. My wife looked into why he still looked like he was 10 years old. It's because he saw Ho-Oh and he wished about it. And he didn't say it, but I guess he wished it. And that's why he stayed looking 10 years old, even though he's probably 30.
Huh.
She took a deep dive and she said that. I'm like, no way. But I remember that episode. They're like, oh, what's that bird? And he see it floating, flying away.
Yep.
And it was a Ho-Oh.
Oh. All I can think of is the meme. Have you ever seen the meme they took from Twilight?
No.
Like in the Twilight movie, she asked him, how long has he been 17? And then there's the one of Ash, how long have you been 10?
Yeah, because he was 10 for like, at
Or
least
ever.
25 years.
Yeah.
Like, I was crazy. Yeah, because when would that anime have come out? It would have had to been like, what, 98?
Yeah, 97,
Yeah.
98.
97,
yeah.
98.
Yeah.
Yep, we were right around 10 years old at the time.
Yeah, he'd be our age. Mm-hmm. Still looking like he's 10.
Yeah,
Getting carded, going to try to get in a drink or something.
kicked out of the Poke Bars.
Pokeball.
So sad.
Oh, that would be so awesome if that were a thing.
Well, they have Poke Bowls everywhere. You know, like the Hawaiian dish to Poke.
Yeah, I know. But like, I bet in Japan they probably have
Oh, no
Pokemon
doubt.
cafes and
So my buddy just recently went to Japan, and he's like, there was so much Pokemon stuff.
Oh,
They
yeah.
had a life-size Mewtwo in the canister, like in the water, like in the movie.
oh, how
He
cool.
sent me a Snapchat. I'm like, that is the coolest thing.
Could you imagine having that in your
ever.
house?
Oh, heck yeah.
I
Heck
would-
of a display piece.
Can I put this on my carry-on? Can I take this on the plane with me? But yeah, he sent me, there's so much Pokemon stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, it was getting a little overwhelming. I'm like, no, I would just take it all in. It would.
I
it
would
be-
spend so much money.
Yeah,
They've got to have a
I would spend
Pokemon
so much
theme
money.
park in Japan, don't they? You think they would?
I can't
I would
remember.
think so.
Yeah. Isn't Dubai's getting like a Dragon Ball theme park or something?
Dubai gets everything.
Seriously.
There's so much money there.
They said that or Saudi Arabia somewhere, so.
Maybe it was Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, I know somewhere's getting a Dragon Ball park, but I know there's got to be something Pokemon, so.
Has to be.
I feel bad. My Quagsire plushie's all the way over there.
Nah, he's good. We actually have a couple of our plushies here at the Roundtable with us. We got Larvitar hooked up with a microphone and a headset. Can't really hear him talk, though.
The
So
almighty Larvitar.
he's shy, so he's there in spirit.
Gengar too. He's shy also.
But getting back to the Pokemon games and everything, okay, did you ever have like a specific, like out of the original three, did you ever have like a favorite game out of red, blue, and yellow?
I think red was my favorite because it was my first one. Mm-hmm. I got blue just because red and blue had different Pokemon that you can get. So I'm like, I need to get blue versions so I can get these Pokemon.
Yep. That was a good selling point for Nintendo.
Oh, yeah. It was great. Great marketing. And then yellow version was great because it was the one that's like, oh, it's full color. Mm-hmm. Not like when you put your red version Game Boy Color. Because originally I didn't have my Game Boy Color with red version. I had the old school Game Boy.
The gray one with the purple buttons?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Oh, wow.
Old school one. I'm like, oh, everything is green. It's great. And then I put in my Game Boy Color. I'm like, everything is red. Everything is red.
Yep.
But then when yellow version came out and you see the Pikachu and it's all like, the different, yellow and the
different contrast of colors.
Mm-hmm. That was the best.
Yeah, because I thought there were different versions of Pokemon Yellow where some came out for the original Game Boy, other ones came out for Game Boy Color. And I do remember playing Yellow version where there was like definitive colors in certain things. Like Pikachu is obviously yellow through the entire game.
Yeah.
But I think the different towns, like glowed different colors or something when you crossed into the boundaries.
I think so.
So I know it was like that for blue and red version, but I don't know. I'll have to go back and play yellow again.
Yeah, yellow is. I booted it up today. I found it. I can't believe it worked. And I'm like, it's working. There goes my weekend.
After all this time.
I remember like taking my Game Boy with me, like even if I was just going with my parents to the store, I'd be sitting in the back seat with my Game Boy playing yellow version most likely.
I did the same thing with my dad. I used to go travel with my dad because he drove semi, and I would go cross country in the summertime, and I would have my Game Boy with the attachment, the magnifying glass attachment, and the buttons are extruded, so my hands are not like this, and it's like that.
All the extra accessories.
Cool.
All the accessories. And he would just be driving. I would play my Game Boy for hours, and he would be like, as much as you play the Game Boy, you could be reading some of these books. And it was the 5th Harry Potter book came out. And I'm like, okay. So I just put my Game Boy down, and I read the 5th Harry Potter book while he was driving down the road. I would cross country, like all the way to, I think we went to like Oregon, we went to Washington, all the way.
Oh, yeah.
And real quick, I'm going to segue into today's audiobook recommendation. Since we're on the topic of Pokemon and traveling across the land, like Ash Ketchum does in the anime, I figure I'd talk about another audiobook recommendation from the Greater Than a Tourist series. Be sure to check out Greater Than a Tourist, Vermont, USA, 50 Travel Tips from a Local, by author Alex Bogner, and narrated by me, Eric Brown, now available on Audible. All right, and we're back to the pod.
But getting back to, how about the cards? That's another factor, too, because we dove heavy into the card game back in the 90s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I did, too.
Because that came out, right around the same time as the anime, but we really started getting into it in 5th grade, I feel like, more than 4th grade.
Yeah, I think it was like the summertime between like 4th and 5th, because I remember getting one of the starter packs, like the boxes from Walmart.
The base decks.
And I'm like, oh, okay, this is cool, and got it, and didn't think anything of it. Now I see some of these base decks are going for like $3,000 to $5,000.
Thousands of dollars.
Crazy.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, you don't know what you're going to get. I'm like, why would you open that?
Yeah, exactly. In hindsight, like there was like what, $1.99 to buy a booster pack, and now they're going for like $500 a pop.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Well, I remember. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No. Go.
Well, I just say because cards were getting so popular at school. My 5th grade teacher, like I said before we started, she was a buzzkill. So she would take, if she caught you with your cards, she would take them. So her whole bottom desk drawer was full of Pokemon cards. And if I remember right, I think somebody in my class, her parent called and said, "You have no right to take my daughters," because they spent a lot of money on them.
Oh, yeah.
So I never really found out what happened. But yes, the parents called the teacher.
I bet the teacher's probably a millionaire now with all those cards.
Oh, I'm telling you, yeah. She collected them all and she's like cashing in now.
I wonder if she ever gave any of them back, or if she just kept them all.
I don't know.
She would have to. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
That's stealing in a way.
That's what I mean. You're taking the stuff from kids.
Yeah.
So, and they paid good money for them.
I remember Kmart was still in Carnation Mall.
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
And
Kmart.
I saved up my allowance. I'm like, I'm ready to buy like 20 packs of
KB Toys? Oh, no, Kmart.
I went straight to Kmart. KB Toys, yes. KB Toys was the place.
Oh, yeah.
I went to Kmart and I bought, I forget, it was like 10 or 15 packs. And I told the lady, I'm like, I'm going to get a Charizard out of one of these. I was like 10.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, oh, okay. She probably didn't know what I was talking about.
Yeah.
And I was in the back of my dad's pickup truck, and I'm opening all these packs. I get to the last one, and I open it, and it was there.
Oh.
That's like how happened to me.
I was going to say, you guys had a very similar experience.
Yeah.
It was a Charizard pack, right? For
Yeah,
both
because
of you guys?
like I said in the last one, we were at the Toys R Us in Canton, and I think my dad had bought me a few packs, and I'm like, I was freaking out because I found a Charizard. That's the one I'd been wanting.
Unbelievable.
I think in that pack, too, like, or in the massive packs I had, I also got a Blastoise out of it. But I'm like, forget Blastoise. I want and I got the Charizard. I'm like, this is the one.
Yep. That was the ultimate card to have growing up, and still is today, especially the first edition.
Oh,
if you have a first edition, boy, you can cut a check.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
gonna be huge.
Oh, yeah. And if you get it rated and it's like a PSA, like 10, it's millions of dollars.
Oh, yeah.
That's insane.
It's big money.
That's insane.
So,
Yeah, unfortunately, my Charizard card's not worth anything. I don't have the special fancy edition.
Same here.
yeah, I think we just have like regular holographic, but still, for a memento, it's a very, nostalgic and sentimental thing.
Yeah.
I spent so much money on that.
We did. Actually, I spent a lot of money, and then, like I said, I combined my cards with Mark, and then we proceeded to like have some big disagreement, and he ended up like taking half of it. And I'm just like,
That.
so stupid. You don't think when you're a kid.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Kid brains. Mm-hmm. Like Jeremy said in the last pod, kid brains.
Yep.
I don't know if you remember coming to my house, my parents' house. We would like have battles outside. Like, we're the Pokemon and we're like battling. But there was underneath the road, because we had a creek next to our house, there was this big, tube, and we would go in there and think like, oh, this is the water gym and I'm a water Pokemon. But you had to like straddle the sides of the pipe because the creek is in the middle and you're like,
You get soaked.
you get soaked, and then there's
I
like a
get
bee's
that.
nest, and they're like, don't get stung by the bees. And they're like, oh, they're bee drills or something.
Yeah, we do all kinds of stuff like that, especially because, I grew up out in the country, so we had lots of creeks and all kinds of trees and everything. So it's like, oh, there's a Pidgeotto.
Oh,
It's like
yeah.
some robin flying around.
We used to play with Mark, too. Mark would be over.
Oh, yeah.
And
He would ride his bike. Like, we rode bikes all over the place back then, kind of like Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So
I did too.
that was like our main source of transportation.
Yeah, that was a good time. I couldn't ride my bike from my house to your house because, one, there was a giant hill.
Oh, so you have that giant hill.
I would die.
Yeah, that's why a lot of people didn't come visit me.
That hill was insane.
That was, it was we're based up on like this giant plateau, which, in the middle of the country, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
But I remember, going over to Mark's house, I'd stay the night a lot, and he had Pokemon Monopoly way back then. So I remember playing the thing, and it had the weirdest, like little character figures you played as, too. It wasn't all the starters, it was like Bulbasaur, and then Blastoise, and then like Clefairy, and Mewtwo, and Pikachu or something. I'm like, what the? I don't even know if there was like a Charmander. I'm just like, Very weird collector. And
Yeah, why wouldn't you have at least like Ash or something in there?
I don't know. It was strange. But yeah, that was a very interesting and nostalgic game I used to play. And then one thing that he had that blew my mind, Jerry made a reference to this too on the last retro podcast, he said, was there a definitive moment where you knew or were kind of blown away when you went from 2D gaming to 3D gaming? And now it came to me after thinking about it a little bit, it had to have been Pokemon Stadium.
Oh, yeah.
Because you play the games on a Game Boy cartridge, which is 2D on a little Game Boy. You plop it into what's called a transfer pack, plug it into the back of your N64 controller, pop in Pokemon Stadium. All of your Pokemon that are on that 2D game suddenly pop up in 3D on the N64. And that was just like mind-blowing. Yeah. And it just, completely knocked your socks off when you were a kid. Like, oh my God.
Before I came over, I mentioned to Carly, and I went, I want to get an N64 so bad now. And she's like, why? I'm like, Pokemon Snap. I remember playing that.
That game was awesome.
And Pokemon Stadium. And I'm like, I got my Game Boy Color, and it's so small. I texted you, I was like, this screen is so small. I don't remember it being so small.
Well, compared to all the screens we have now.
I know.
That we were a lot smaller back then too, so we're probably thinking, wow, this thing's big. And now that we've gotten bigger, it's like, oh, hey, it's like dinky.
I want to blow this thing up on my TV and be like, I can see now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely play it with the transfer pack in the back of the N64 controller. That's the way to play now.
And she also asked me a question, too. I think it was with the GameCube. I don't remember. But you could either power up your Pokemon or trade them on the GameCube. But it wasn't with the original 3. It might have been with Sapphire, which I never played Sapphire.
Maybe. Like I said, I kind of got out of Pokemon for a while.
I did, too, during
I never
that
played
time.
Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. So that was the next gen. That was the Hoenn region.
Yeah, because I got out after Silver and Gold.
Yep.
Because I think we kind
same.
of grew out of it. And it's
Exactly.
like, okay.
We're moving on to other things like Dragon Ball and Yu-Gi-Oh! And all that other stuff.
Okay, speaking of Hoenn, you know the one wasn't there an episode called Hoenn Alone?
Yes.
They made it into a meme.
All of the Pokemon anime titles were just hilarious.
Like Hoenn.
What was the one we always referenced that I don't think was an episode?
It was never an episode, but it should be.
What the heck? It was a phrase. What was
Let Flygons be Flygons.
Let Flygons be Flygons. That was not an episode. It should be.
I swear it was. It was.
It feels like it would be, but I think it's a Mandela effect.
We made it up.
Yeah. But like the very generic, things. Like there was like Pikachu, I choose you. I think it was like episode 1 or something. But they always had such interesting play on word type of titles for the episodes and were hilarious.
But like you said in the last pod about Pokemon, there are always good meanings behind it.
Oh, yeah.
And every episode I watch, I'm like, oh, that is a good meaning. I think about it now after I hear it. I'm like, oh, yeah, that is a good meaning.
Mm-hmm. They had such good moral messaging with Pokemon, too. It really emphasized the power of friendship and unity and, even the Pokemon soundtrack that came out, which I bought, back over in Cranex, way over in Pennsylvania, way back when. It talked about the song. It's like, my best friends. That song. So that was always kind of special.
The Poke Rap.
The Poke
Oh,
Rap
the
was
Poke
legendary.
Rap.
Pokemon theme song, which, have you heard the metal cover?
No.
With the original guy comes back,
Oh,
Jason Page.
you would love it. You would appreciate it.
Oh, dude, it's a metal one, and he is such a metalhead. It's awesome. And yeah, they rock out to the Pokemon theme. It's awesome.
Playing it. I've been playing the Pokemon theme song for my daughter when I'm feeding her lunch or dinner. She loves music, so she loves listening to music. She'll ask for music. I'm like, okay. I'm like Alexa, play the Pokemon theme song, and it'll start playing. I'm like, you are going to learn this, child.
Starting them young.
Oh yeah.
So already carrying on the family tradition with Charizard,
with Charmander, yes. And then I gave her the Pokédex today.
Oh, did you?
She
cool.
Loved it. She was quiet for 2 hours, and then she would close it, but she couldn't figure out how to open it yet. I'm like, you had to push the button in and then lift while you're holding it. And she just goes, "Help, please." And I go, "Here you go." She goes, "Okay," and then closes it 2 seconds later. I'm like,
now that's the old Tiger Pokedex. That came out when we were kids. You still have yours.
Yes.
So, and that's the one that you gave to her.
I had one too, but I don't know what happened to it.
I never did. I missed out on a lot of that
because you weren't a Toys R Us kid.
I wasn't a Toys R Us kid. I missed out.
I did both KB Toys and Toys R Us. I did both.
Yeah.
Toys R Us mostly for me.
Scotty's probably listening to this right now, probably laughing his ass off in the car. Yeah. So he was razzing me so bad, he texted me. He's like, "You were never a Toys R Us kid?" I'm like, "Nope. I missed out." So
I mean, that was a far drive for us too.
That was going
it was
about at least a good 25 minutes to a half-hour drive.
Yeah.
Well, so my dad is an avid toy collector.
Oh yeah.
Especially Star Wars items and stuff. So we were at Toys R Us all the time. Every week probably we were going to Toys R Us because he would. I mean, have you seen my dad's?
I remember seeing it. Yeah.
So I grew up with a dad who collected stuff like that.
Massive collector.
So I was at Toys R Us a lot.
Oh yeah.
Which I always loved.
But I always got into a whole bunch of Pokemon stuff that was kind of nearby, and not to mention KB Toys. So KB Toys saved my butt with Pokemon stuff. If I ever need to get something, I go there. The other thing I remember that was big too was the Burger King promotion with Pokeballs. I talked about this briefly, how they actually had a recall because kids were clasping the Pokeballs that you would snap on your waist or belt buckle. It would close shut around a kid's lips and suffocate them. So there was a massive recall. Those toys were awesome.
Those, and they did the gold-plated cards.
Yep.
We talked. Because we still have one, don't we?
Mm-hmm. I don't know if we have a Jigglypuff or
I think we have a Jigglypuff.
Yeah, there were 6 of them.
Yeah, I remember my dad's like, "You shouldn't touch those," and I'm like, "I'm taking them out of the case. I'm touching real gold."
we all took them out.
I'm like,
weren't they? They were just not even real.
They were probably gold plated or something. Yeah.
But at the time, you're like, "I got gold. It's so cool."
Right.
And you shouldn't touch those. It'd be worth money. I'm like, nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
You think how did Burger King have that kind of promotion, just giving out gold bars to everybody, That's wild.
Well, it wasn't real gold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're a far cry from that now. It seems like every Burger King is almost closing down or moving elsewhere.
They're very franchised.
Yeah.
Very, very franchised.
But that's a whole nother topic conversation, the whole millennial aesthetic of all the shoebox-looking buildings for fast food.
Oh, don't even get me started.
You sent me that TikTok with Pizza Hut, and I'm like, oh, I remember the book it things. And
where it just reeked of cigarette smoke back in the one section. And you're cashing in your book it, tickets for a pizza, and it's smells like cigarette smoke all the way to the back. in the sunroom area.
And we used to have our like flag football trophy celebrations at Pizza Hut. And,
Oh, yeah.
let's see who can eat the pizza with the most pepper flakes on it and just dump the
Oh,
pepper.
God.
I'll be paying for that on the toilet later. Oh my God, good memories.
So when I was searching through trying to find my Game Boy Color, I found a Pokemon coin from back in the day. They must have made a game out of coins, and it was a Magmar.
It's got the different numbers on it, right? Yeah.
I found one. I'm like, where did this come from?
Oh, I do remember those too.
They actually sold them in like a little CD case, but it came with 3 different coins, I think. And yeah, you basically spun it on the ground, and wherever, like if you were battling, it would be you and someone else with a different coin, and whichever like numbers or like effect were facing each other, that's what you used to quote unquote battle. So
Yeah, I remember that.
that's how that worked. Dude, there was all kinds of stuff for merchandise back then.
Nintendo and Pokemon, they were killing it.
Oh, they were.
I mean, all the merchandise, everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm looking, you had the badges. I went, oh, those badges. I wanted those in like 5th grade.
That's the
so
thing.
bad.
A lot of this stuff that we wanted back then. Yeah, everybody wanted the badges. We never had them back then. Nobody ever printed them out or anything.
We used to print them out on the paper with our computers. Like, I got the badge here, and it's like so pixelated.
Oh yeah.
And we're like, oh, here's our jacket, and have these paper badges that are all wrinkled.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, we improvised a lot back then.
We used a lot of printer ink. I'm finding out from the other pods.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of
Not as many as what Jeremy and Sean were using, but oh my gosh, we were using a decent amount.
Yeah,
printing out strategy guides. Holy crap.
I remember, totally off topic, but Cheap Planet. That was a website, and I used to get codes for like PlayStation games. I'm like, Cheap Planet, I used to print them on. My dad's like, stop printing everything. This is expensive.
Yep. Telling you, printer ink. Crazy time. And then do you remember like the promotions for Pokemon and stuff like that back then too?
Oh yeah.
Like, okay, with Blockbuster, where you could take Pokemon Snap, where you took pictures in your game, take it over there, and you could print off stickers.
Yes, I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember Carnation Mall used to have Pokemon trading card, like the game, and you can battle other kids. And I wanted to so bad, but I think I was just too young. My parents were like, "Yeah, you're too young for that." I'm like, "But I want to play so bad."
Right.
I always missed out. I never really knew how to play the trade card game until the Game Boy game.
Yep.
See, I only collected the cards.
Mm-hmm.
I never played the game. I just wanted to collect them.
I did both. Kevin was more into the collecting cards, I think, than a lot of my friends. You were big into collecting cards too.
Collecting the cards, yeah.
But yeah, Kevin would play me in the games, I think. But like as far as the Pokemon card game for the Game Boy Color, because that's a game too. That James had that one. I don't know if we ever played each other, because can you play through a system link?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I remember we used to system link like red version and blue version. You used to trade back and forth, or we would cheat the game and be like, oh, I'll play my level 2 Pidgey, and you can beat them so many times and level up your Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
And then we would have like level 99 like Nidokings and other Pokemon Dragonite.
It just like slammed through the game.
Through everybody.
Mm-hmm. I still got that old link cable too with the old Game Boys.
Do you really?
Oh yeah, all the neon colors. Neon was big back in the 90s.
Yeah, it was.
So it was all the different.
It was so colorful.
It was the Game Boy color. Yeah, everything was colorful, and now it's just like
Gray.
Gray and white.
millennial gray.
And sad.
Yeah, gray.
So where did it all go wrong?
Y2K, that's where it went wrong. That's where it went wrong.
Speaking of really vivid colors and everything, we actually have displayed here on the table too the official Pokemon handbook from way back in the 90s. So
Oh yeah,
brings back a lot of memories.
That brings back a lot of memories. I remember I was looking through it while we were talking, and I could see like the check marks. Caught it.
Oh yeah,
I remember I would take this one.
Mm-hmm.
the special Mew edition
it's the
one.
Mew with the holograph background. I used to draw a lot when I was a kid. I would like open it to a page of a Pokemon I would want, and I would copy the Pokemon I would draw. I think I had a whole sketchbook full of Pokemon drawings at one point.
It was, like I said, it was Pokemania. We were all going crazy for it.
Yes.
Then the first movie came out, and everybody was just going bonkers.
So you brought that up in the last one. I remember my parents picked me up from school early to go see this movie. They're like, oh, yeah, we're going to pick you up. And when we got there, you were there, too.
Really?
And we're like, let's go. And we got that ancient Mew card. And we watched, and I remember like the intro was coming, and Entei was shown for the first time. And we're like, who's this? What is this thing? And and Mewtwo talking, and that was. And the other one was Pokemon 2000. That's when
Pokemon Movie 2000 was Lugia, and that was the 3 legendary birds, so Articuno, Moltres, and Zapdos.
Yeah.
So that was that one, and Slowking, who could speak English for some reason.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
I could use pants. So that was his famous line. Then we went to go see Pokemon the 3rd movie. First ones in town to ever go see it. That's the one with Entei.
Yes.
We went to go see that one, and James and I were first in line, first ones in the theater, rocking it out, and we're just like, yeah!
That was so great.
Okay, but you were telling me, speaking of the Ancient Mew card, I swear it was with the first movie.
Nope. Pokemon the movie 2000.
Was
It was with
2000?
the first movie.
Pokemon the movie 2000. We went to look it up after our pod session. I'm like, pretty sure that wasn't right. And then I look back and I'm like, it was like a Dragonite delivery card, like a Pikachu card, and 2 other promos.
See, I vaguely remember. Yeah, but I swear.
You can look it up. Yeah.
I swear. Okay,
No,
my memory fails me, apparently.
Yeah. Ancient Mew, that was the whole thing with the collector. He's like the antagonist of Pokemon movie 2000, and he started his whole collection with an Ancient Mew card. Right?
You're bringing back so many memories. Now. I'm looking at, there's one on Amazon, the Dragonite delivery card.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
For $16.
That was one of the promo ones. It was like a promo Pikachu, promo Dragonite delivery. Yeah. See, that was the original.
Okay, so I did have it wrong.
They have a PSA 10 Dragonite delivery card for $750 on eBay right now.
Oh, God.
Goodness.
Why did I get rid of all my old cards? I don't know what happened. Like, I rebuilt my collection after the whole Mark debacle. And then, my other cards, I don't know if I just sold them away or gave them away.
Didn't you have a plastic tub just full of cards?
I did. Energy cards and everything, because I bought them like crazy.
Oh, yeah, I remember that plastic tub.
Yeah, plastic tub full of energy cards. And it's just gone.
Yeah, I never kept the energy cards. I'm like,
Yeah,
whatever.
who needs that?
And that's the thing when you're playing the game, you're like, where's a damn energy card?
Yeah, because like I said, I never played, so I'm like, whatever, bye.
I would play the games, I would collect the cards, all that stuff. And after a while, like I said, you get older and you kind of just grew out of it. But now looking back, it's like, damn it.
Oh, I know.
Could have kept so much money.
Could have had so much. I still have my cards. So my one buddy has 3 daughters. Well, the one's too young, but the oldest and the middle, they're getting into Pokemon. And I had them all over and we were all hanging out. And I went, oh, I got something to show you, and I brought out my cards, and they were freaking out. They're like, he's got Jigglypuff, he's got Pidgey. And I'm like, keep going. The holographics are in the back. Keep going. And they saw the Charizard, and they're like, what is this? Yeah, it's just a full circle coming around.
Mm-hmm. Well, now you're able to enjoy it through your daughter's eyes all over again now, because she's the first time getting to experience this. And you also brought up, too, your wife's starter of choice as well was also
Charmander.
Oh, so we got a whole Charmander clan over here.
Yes.
So.
As it should be.
Yeah.
Because she liked Charizard. She's like, well, she broke it down to what she likes. Charmander. She goes practicality or strategic is for the hippies Bulbasaur. Because like we discussed, the first 2 to 3 gyms.
Oh yeah, he'll just slash through him. He's perfect.
And then he just gets destroyed after that.
Yeah, I didn't take time to think about that, but from gyms, it's kind of a stalemate at Gym 4 with Erica. But then after that, you got Koga, Poison, that's good against grass. Then you got Sabrina, which is Psychic, good against grass. And then you got Blaine, who's basically fire. So good luck with the grass there. So the next 3, he gets absolutely freaking murdered.
And I think. Because I like with Charizard and like Blastoise. Blastoise, he could learn Hydro Pump. Hydro Pump was a fantastic attack.
If it hits. That's the big thing.
And Charizard had Fire Blast, and I forget, what was the other one? Charizard.
Well, the thing that
Flamethrower?
That's it.
Flamethrower.
It deterred me from playing with Charmander because he would learn Ember at a decently low level, and he would take all the way till after you evolve him into Charizard before he learned his next fire move, Flamethrower. And then he would learn Fire Spin later on, and then you could teach him Fire Blast after beating Blaine. So it was like a whole sequence with Charizard, but at the end of the game, obviously, he's like, all beefed up at that point.
And I think with Venusaur, it's like Vine Whip, whoop-de-doo. Yeah. But he can learn Solar Beam, which was like, okay, that's your only good one is Solar Beam.
Yeah, and that takes a whole move just to charge him up to get him to do that. Razor Leaf is good, too.
Yeah, Razor Leaf is good. But I always think like Leafs, like, oh, here comes some Leaves, just torch them.
Yeah. I always did, if I ever played with Bulbasaur or Venusaur, I would actually use, a combination of Leech Seed and Sleep Powder, would just wreck people.
That does work really well.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. It's just it's, basically death by 1,000 paper cuts type of deal. It's like, ugh.
Yeah.
Going on from Pokemon. And then there was an infamous day when we were collecting cards back in 5th grade where over the PA system of the school was our principal. He says, attention, everybody, Pokemon cards will be henceforth banned from the premises. And there was a collective, no, all throughout the hallways.
All the hallways, all the kids. They thought, people were getting into fights for, trading and gambling. We're like, we're in 5th grade. What is gambling?
Right.
Now that you've talked about that, I vaguely remember my school banning Pokemon cards.
Oh, yeah.
I'm almost positive. Now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure they did.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
You know, it's so funny because we were talking earlier about, you know, how the episodes have such a good positive message, but then you got like, oh yeah, Pokemon cards are banned, and then we were watching clips before we started
of Pokemania, and there was like this doctor of psychiatry or something like that, and she's just like, I think this is just it's condoning violence, and it's teaching kids to be like to fight animals all the time. It's bad for kids.
And there was some pastor or televangelist or something. He was saying like, Pokemon's the devil. It's the devil.
And he was trying to say that, like, the symbol of, like, 3 Mewtwo's hand was, like, some type of satanic symbol.
Oh, my God.
Give me a break.
No.
Jeez.
So it was mania back then. Yeah. Like, people were just going nuts. Like, what is this stuff? And then I was showing you South Park episodes, Chim Pokemon episodes.
Pokemon.
Got to buy it, Chim Pokemon.
I was losing it with that episode.
It turns out it was, like, a secret undercover plot by the Japanese government to try and, like, brainwash kids into, like, bombing Pearl Harbor. It was the most ridiculous concept. I'm like, what the?
You could buy the penguin or a shoe.
Yeah, Shu was a Chin Pokemon. Which I also found out, too. I think, like, Chin Poko actually means, like, small penis in Japanese. That was another thing. Yeah, if you look it up, I'm just like, oh, are you kidding me? They knew what they were doing.
Oh, they absolutely
Oh,
did.
South Park is fantastic.
Well, didn't one of the creators of South Park speak Japanese?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, he either studied Japanese when he went to college or actually went to Japan for a while. But, yeah, one of them, Trey Parker or Matt Stone, yeah, they were just, they were in their element with that episode.
Those guys are great.
And they were just trying to find, I guess they made those, like, alternate commercials. Like, they had, like, Alabama Man and a couple other, like, some weird bike thing. Like, how can we use this in an episode? They're like, tell you what, let's do a Pokemon, like, parody. So they do that, and yeah, you get that whole episode. It was freaking phenomenal.
I'll get the penguin one because it's my favorite. Oh, no.
Yeah, Mom, I want the shoe.
I want the shoe.
Yeah. What penguin? He's the best.
Oh, yeah, so we got down to around 6th grade. Well, 6th grade year was a whole show, but we got out of Pokemon and we phased out of it, but then it started coming back.
Mm-hmm. With gold and silver and everything.
Yeah, with gold and silver. We played it for a little bit, but then fast forward till, about 8 years ago.
Oh, yeah. The dawn of 2016, actually, it was parodied in a way with an April Fool's joke from Google in 2014, where Google ran this April Fool's Day campaign where they're going to be like, use Google Maps, and then we'll have Pokemon all over the world, and if you find them all, we'll certify you by Google to be an official Pokemon master. It got such a massive response from that. They're like, we could probably make a game out of this. And lo and behold, in 2016, 2 years later, they created Pokemon Go.
Oh.
And that game resonated with such a nostalgic,
I still play it to this day.
Yes.
I still play it.
Yeah. Every now and again, like I said, we'll still dabble back into that. But at the very, like that, hot summer, in July of 2016, when that all finally came to be, oh my gosh, it was Poke craze all over again.
Oh my, that brought back everything.
It did.
And just everybody our age is like, you need to download this and play.
Yeah.
And my one buddy, he got into it hardcore.
Oh, yeah.
He was one where he wanted to be the best at every game, or anything you give him a challenge to, he wanted to be the best. Mm-hmm. He made a spreadsheet, Excel spreadsheet.
I remember
Oh my
that.
God.
For each Pokemon, based on CP, the rating, and what moves, it'll give the attack damage. And he had it color coded where it's like solid green was the best, and then white was garbage. And so I'll be like, oh, I got this Dragonite. It's like CP, 2,500. And he's like, oh, what's the rating? He looks at it, he goes, it's garbage. Trade it or get rid of it. I'm like, but it's
Right.
Dragonite.
This is before they had the appraisal system that told you, like, oh, okay, they're strong in this area and like strong in defense.
Because like 1, 2, or 3 stars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Or 4.
his buddies literally, like, they broke it down to a science. They could calculate this out before that option was even there. And yeah, just mind blowing how they were just so calculated with it.
Yeah, it was. We went really hardcore before Discord, and they had like the chats where we can like meet up. Like, hey, what's raiding over in Canal Park, and we'd go and meet up with people and be like, oh, let's raid and team up. But they used to have the maps, the radars.
Oh yeah,
and
Pokevision.
Pokevision, and it's like, oh, I think this is happening here. We'd see one like, let's go and get it.
It's like, oh, there's a Venusaur that's over there on 17th Street. Let's go.
Yeah,
And because we would have the inside scoop, we'd end up going over there. And then for a while, I don't know if it was Pokevision or another scanner app, would actually show you like certain raids that were going to pop up after a while. This is even before they have the modern system now. And we would just be like, okay, over about like, another city away, there's going to be another raid that's going to go off in like 20 minutes. Let's go. Hop in our cars because now we're old enough to drive. And we were like driving everywhere instead of going on our bikes.
The spoofing, like at the early on part of the game, people would spoof their location.
Yep. And pretend like they're in a whole different like country.
And when we first my wife and I got married, we were driving around and I went, oh, I got to go over here. She's like, why? I'm like, I think there's a gym battle or a raid going on. And we're like, oh, we don't have enough. There's only like 3 people. And I would message on Discord, but we only have 3 people. And this one dude goes, coming in hot, flying in, I'll be there soon. And he spoofed his location.
Oh my God.
For this raid. And if we didn't have him, we would have lost it. I forget what it was.
Can't you get your account banned for spoofing?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. There was all kinds of stuff that was going on.
Well, people were spoofing over into like Europe to get Mr. Mime.
Yeah.
And, like, Australia
That's the
King's
thing.
gone.
Yeah, there were certain region lock Pokemon. Yeah, at the very beginning. And still today, there's still a lot of region locks.
Well, yeah, there's newer regional ones now that you can't, like, I still don't have some of them.
Yep.
Like
Tropius.
Relicanth. I don't have that one yet.
Yeah, that one's down in New Zealand or something?
I think so.
Yeah, that or Australia.
That's an expensive trip for a Pokemon.
Yeah, it is. They sometimes, like, if we go to like a Safari Zone or a Pokemon Go Fest or something like that, I'm sure they have an event. Actually, there's another one coming up in July, I believe.
Oh, is there?
So, like a Pokemon Go.
There's a Go Fest, I think.
Go Fest, but you don't have to go to a specific area; it just happens where you're at.
Yeah.
So, which would be kind of cool.
The first one was in Chicago, right?
Oh yeah,
And that
was a debacle.
Oh, I heard about
Yeah,
that.
it was bad because I think there were just so many
They crashed
people.
the cell servers.
It wasn't that the first one when Lugia came into play?
Yeah. And there was a thing, too, because you had to pick between the 3 different teams, and we were both Team Mystic.
Oh, yeah.
Go Team Mystic. So, Team Mystic ended up winning because there's more
There's
of
more
us.
people, Team Mystic.
So, Articuno was released with Lugia at the very beginning. So, and then it was Moltres was released, and then Zapdos. So
out of the 3 birds, legendary birds, which one is your favorite? But I mean, I know Mystic, probably Articuno, but which one is your favorite?
are we going with the 5, or are we
Moltres
going
is
with just
mine.
the 3?
The OG 3.
The OG 3?
Moltres is my favorite.
Articuno by far. I always thought Articuno was very pretty, even in Pokemon the movie 2000. It's just a shame, Articuno gets like its butt kicked in that movie so quick. I'm like, damn it.
So I was stuck between like Moltres and Articuno, but I have a vengeance against Articuno from the raid battles.
Oh, your Ray Reed.
Oh my God.
Catch it.
Yeah, that raid day.
Catch it.
Poor James. I talked about that in the
Yes.
podcast, right? We were just going around from like raid to raid.
Yes.
I remember, because I think you phoned me like, dude, we're doing raids. Come join us. I'm like, all right. We go to a Lugia raid, and I get there and I catch it.
I know you catch it.
James is like, son of a, how do we get this thing?
We raided, I forget how many. It had to be like 6 or 7
it was
raids.
nuts.
And we went all over, and it was like at the last raid of the day because I think they ended at 8 o'clock.
I think 8 or 9. I think 8
It was
o'clock.
like, 8:15, 8:30. I think they cut off the time. This was our last one we could possibly do at the end of the day.
And Carly was with me, and you guys were with me too. I'm like, oh, I have to get this. I have to get this. I
Right?
remember
It was the last chance.
I walked away because that's what my one buddy used to do. He used to walk away because he would hate to hear people going, I got it. And he would like not catch it yet. He would get just so mad.
Get it worked up.
He would get so worked up. And I'm like, I just had to walk away. I had to focus. And I finally got it at the very last one. And I'm like, okay, we have to go because the new Game of Thrones episode's starting soon. And we flew to my brother-in-law's house to watch Game of Thrones.
Cool.
Well, one thing about Pokemon Go now, so like the max level used to be 40. It's
Or no, it used to be like 20 or 25, I think.
well, but now it was
now
40.
it's 40.
40.
No, it's 50 now.
Is it
50. Oh my God, they're racing.
and
Oh, that's right.
I-
They're racing again.
I do not understand how you can get to level 50.
Oh, the amount of XP you need to generate
It's
is
outrageous.
40 was, what, 5 million? Or
I'm
something?
41 now. It's taken me this long just to get to 41. I cannot imagine.
And some people have multiple profiles, and they get there that quick.
Grind. They grind. I'm still. Well, I haven't played. I got a new phone, so I tried to log in. I can't remember my login information. So I'm like a level 38 or 39. I'm like,
I think I finally got past you for the first time since we played.
Yeah,
I'm
you actually leapfrogged past me because I
did.
stopped playing for a while. So, like I said, I think there was a period recently with Pokemon Go where they released so many shiny Pokemon, it burned people out because, like, well, I've already got a shiny of this. What's the point of playing? So people just stopped playing. And I've noticed that on, like, there'd be Pokemon Go Facebook group pages, and nobody posts on there anymore.
I noticed that. Like nobody.
Yeah, the one we're
Akron
on,
Canton.
Akron one, the Akron area one.
Akron,
yeah.
Cleveland, Canton.
Yeah, nobody posts on it anymore.
Nope.
I keep getting like things like, oh, hey, I want to be a friend. Here's my friend code. And I'm like, nobody's replying. Before it would be like 20 people. Oh, added you, and you'd be getting gifts out
I've been
yin
making friends on Twitter because you go on the Pokemon Go Twitter page and people would just post their friend codes.
Yeah.
So I'd punch it in, and I have friends from Japan. I have friends from South America and Germany, just because I'm like okay.
And don't they send eggs and stuff like
Yeah,
that
they
too?
send
They do.
eggs.
Yeah,
kinda
I've
cool.
gotten stuff, which I'm like, what if I got like a friend from New Zealand or something, and I
got
hatched
a
a
relic
regional?
camp?
I would be so excited. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that can happen, but
Yeah, I don't know if you can hatch regionals or not. I think you could. I think it's a special egg. Not sure.
But I remember when they introduced trading, you can trade between the
Yeah, because originally you couldn't. Which I'm like, that's a big component of the Halo
Yeah.
or the Halo but Pokemon universe.
And then depending on where you caught it, the distance came into play. And you can, like, I forget what it was, but if you had one with such great distance between after you caught it, you got, like, I don't know, extra points or something like that.
Yep.
And I remember I went on my honeymoon. I was in, in, like, the Caribbean area, and I would catch some regionals. I would go, Carly, there's a regional. I got to go. I'm like, let's see how far the Wi-Fi goes because I don't have international. And it was a Corsola.
Yep.
we
Corsolas are
caught
regional.
those in Florida. Yeah.
Yep, and we go down there and it's just like, oh, hey, there's a Corsola. Because we thought we would have to drive all over to Florida. No, it's just right down the street. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I was like, I got to go. I see the silhouette. I'm like, how close? I'm like, oh, there it is.
Same
And then
thing
my
with
Wi-Fi goes out.
Heracross too.
Heracross is
Yes,
down that way.
Heracross, yeah.
So, and then I think there's like another fish, Finian or something like that.
No, Finian's around everywhere.
There was like another, maybe it was a parrot or something.
I forget which one.
Chatot, is that what it's
Yeah,
called?
Chatot. That's the
Yeah.
one everybody thinking of. I think it might be South America.
But I have a bunch of. There had like an event where. It was Go Fest, I think.
I thought it was
You
like
could catch
I thought it was Safari Zone.
Oh yeah, you're right. Safari Zone.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we did a Safari Zone that had a bunch of regionals in it.
I have a whole bunch now because I caught them all. Because I'm like, I'm never going to see these again. So I caught like 20 of them.
We figured we'd use them for like trading fodder.
Oh, yeah.
So just to stock up on extras. And that's the thing. Okay, how much money have you dropped into Pokemon Go?
I don't want to say.
An embarrassing amount.
Yeah, it's like,
Way more than the original games in the 90s. Probably way
it was
more.
so easy too because
Oh,
you're like,
yeah.
I need some Pokeballs, 99 cents. It's like, sure, I'll get some coins.
Yeah.
Buy like 3 Pokeballs, waste them up, spend another 99 cents or $10.
Yeah, you spend $10.
Oh, I
get
need some
200
remote raid
free.
passes.
Yeah, the raid passes.
Yep.
Dude,
Such a cash grab.
Niantic made so much money
They
from
did,
that.
and they still are.
Yeah.
And that's like the biggest controversy is the remote raid pass. They raised the price
They
of them,
did.
didn't they?
Did they?
Yeah, and
They
that
did raise the
there was
price.
a lot of blowback from it. I like the Pokeball Plus and the Pokemon Plus option thing that would spin gyms on Pokestops for you while you're driving by. Those
Yeah.
things are sweet.
I borrowed my buddies, the same buddy with the spreadsheet. I'm like, can I just borrow your Pokeball for like, it was like Pokemon Eevee or, and he's like, yeah, you'd borrow it. And I would go downtown after work and there was like
Probably a
50
ton.
gyms and 50 like Pokestops and I would just spin.
It would max out your inventory.
Yeah, it did. And I just come back and I go, thank you. I'm good. Thank you so much.
Well, we started watching these YouTubers who literally made their whole account about Pokemon Go.
Trainer tips.
Trainer Tips Nick. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really? Oh, nice.
His channel, I like his because it's
Mystic
like
7's good too.
Mystic 7, but Trainer
There's-
Tips Nick is like, he does a bunch of travel videos, but incorporates Pokemon Go into it.
Yeah, it's really cool and insightful.
But it's
So,
like, damn.
I know.
we should have done that.
Living the Poke dream.
Literally, so we saw he was in Japan playing Pokemon Go. Mm-hmm. And I
Well,
think
he was there for like the release of Mew. Was a really cool episode.
Yeah.
Like when they first he was actually by like a bunch of like Japanese like structures and stuff like that catching Mew actually at
and
a
there's
shrine.
the Australian girl.
Zoe?
Zoe, she wears the bow.
Yeah.
Yeah. She plays.
There's a lot of different Pokemon Go players that we watch just streaming on YouTube and
That's
everything.
So cool. That's
So
so cool.
this except
Yeah, it's like we should have jumped on that when we had the chance.
I know, right? Missed opportunity.
I know.
So it's okay. That's why we're podding now. So
Yep.
getting started somewhere.
I remember I would take frequent breaks from Pokemon Go because I would spend
We'd
so
kinda
much
do that,
time.
too.
Yeah.
Like I just need a break.
You were
And-
getting back into it like in 2018 or
Yeah.
something like that, and I kind of took a hiatus from it. And you actually leapfrog past me, I think, in level.
Yeah, for a very brief amount.
Yeah, but still, I tuned out, and you're like, "Dude, come back and play. They got
Yeah.
X-raid passes now."
Well, yeah, that's when X-Ray came out, and that's when Mewtwo was coming
Yeah,
out.
the
for
first
Yeah.
time catching Mewtwo, I'm like, "Ooh, I
But it
want
was
Mewtwo."
only certain places. If you spun the gym within a time frame, you would get an X-ray pass. And I quit for a bit, and then when they were coming back, I'm like, okay, let me get back in, and I got one. And I went to my buddies who were still grinding. I said, hey, I got an X-ray pass. They're like, you have got to be kidding me. We have been grinding, and none of us got one. And my buddy, like the one very competitive, he goes, don't you miss that. He's like,
Use that.
He goes, I want you to get there. I want you to take the gym, and I want you to hold it. And I went, okay. He got into it. So it was at the local like cell phone place.
Mm-hmm.
And I went there, and there's this one guy. I pulled up, and there was like a couple other people, and there was like one guy sitting like by the windows, and I was battling, and he was battling, and I threw one in at the end. I was like, oh, I got it. And he tried, I forget, I think I put a Dragonite in, like a really high-powered Dragonite, and I'm just feeding it berries every single time. He's trying to take it down, berry. Here's another berry. And you see, I'm
just holding the gym out.
And I'm just sitting there watching him, and you can see him getting visually frustrated.
What is going on?
And he just
beat this Dragonite.
And then all of a sudden, another one pulled in, threw in another one for the blue. I was like, yes, more, get
Saved
more
his
in.
butt.
Oh,
Do they still have X-rayed passes anymore?
That's the thing. I think they did away with it because for a while they did a thing where like you can invite one friend if you get an X-rayed pass, which is a cool option.
Oh,
That
yeah.
is pretty cool.
Yeah, they had that, but I don't know if they still have X-rayed. I think they got rid of it during the pandemic.
Well,
probably.
the one thing they do now that I don't really care for, they have those local raids. Have you seen?
No.
It's like we did one once. It
it sounds
it was
familiar.
like a local raid. It's like a shadow Pokemon, but they become enraged,
Oh, that shit
and
is
you have to
annoying.
have these purified gems to help defeat
more
them. It's
hoops to jump through.
Really?
Yes,
Yeah.
and you get the gems I think from beating Team Rocket or something.
Yeah, it upsets the whole dynamic of the raid
Yes.
system, and it's just like you're grinding away. Okay, half his health is gone. Then he gets enraged, and suddenly like he's like hard as hell
And
to
you
beat.
can't
It's
use
like,
remote raid passes on them. You have to actually go
be there in person.
Be there in
It's
person.
all kinds of clunky like hoop jumping crap.
Are they trying to get people back together?
Right.
Or what?
Well, the enraged mode, that's what bothers me because it makes
Yeah.
it's like, oh.
All it does is just enrage the player is what it does.
Yes.
So
Because at the very beginning, it was a great concept. Go out walking.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, I'm out walking around the park and catching Pokemon.
and
I
that's
feel
the thing.
healthy.
We didn't know. Like it's like okay, if we go out to certain like if we go to the beach, are we gonna catch like a water Pokemon? Or if we go in the forest, because remember we went to like some like metro parks,
Yes.
and we were like,
Yeah.
I wonder if we can like catch some like woodland Pokemon or like an Eevee or something. We caught a whole bunch of Diglett, I think, the one time.
Diglett. And like one of the Pokemon scanners, it's like, oh, this park is a Magikarp nest. This one's
That's
a
the thing,
Magmar
yeah.
nest. Like, let's go and like just fill up. And we walked the one bog, and it was like such tall grass. Like we're looking for Magmar, we couldn't get one, and finally
Mm-hmm.
one popped up. I'm like, okay, I'm getting ate up by mosquitoes. I'm ready to go.
So, speaking of Magmar, there was a Magmar community day
Oh, my.
years ago.
Yeah.
I still have not finished the research from that. I have to catch like 15 Magmar,
Oh God!
and I've caught like 9.
Oh, geez.
And I don't see Magmars ever.
Yep.
Do they still have like the first 2 gens out, or is it more of the higher ones?
No, they still have the first 2 jump, but now it's oversaturated with all the newer Pokemon too.
yeah.
Which I got to say, with Pokemon Go, we got introduced to the newer generations, and we've come around to them in a lot of ways.
Because I used to think like, oh, these are so weird. Because like
Yeah,
the
they're
one
goofy.
Pokemon's literally an ice cream cone,
Yeah, they really didn't put much thought.
or like a
here's
fucking
100
a light
Pokemon.
bulb. Like
Light bulb.
I'm not kidding. It looks like a light bulb.
Doesn't he have like crazy hands or crazy arms?
It's like called Tad Bulb or something.
Yeah. There's a
And-
bunch of like goofy looking ones that are part of the new gen, but yeah, we're old school. I consider Pokemon for me like really, what's that? Kanto and Johto, and
Yeah.
then maybe a little bit of Hoenn mixed in there too.
yeah.
So, but I prefer those first 3 gens in particular.
I just remember coming here and we would go over and just drive around in your car and get
Yeah.
stops.
Oh,
and
yeah.
but the swarm of people. Mm-hmm. And you brought
Oh,
that up
it-
with like the war turtle.
Oh yeah, there's a war turtle at
And
the
it's just this
VFW.
slow mass of people just moving in mass over to this thing. It's like, what the?
That happened again with, I think it was a Lapras. This guy was like, there's a Lapras behind the theater. And people were running. And it's like, get the Lapras.
I remember getting made fun of because we went to one of the local wineries and I was playing Pokemon at a winery, and then somebody commented like, "Of course you would play Pokemon at a winery."
Yeah, why not?
Like, why not?
There was a day where James and I were driving around to raids and everything, and back then we had access to all the Pokemon Go Facebook groups and whatnot. And there was actually a couple that we bumped into while we were traveling around raiding for, I think it was Lugia's too.
Yeah.
And there was this random couple, guy and a girl, and we were looking on our scanner thing. We're like, oh, there's another Lugia raid that's going to happen. Here, follow us, guys. Just 2 random strangers.
Yeah.
Tell them, like, hey, follow us.
Yeah, like when does that happen in real life?
Yeah.
Like,
And she ended up commenting on Facebook and just said, this is fucking awesome. Because where else would you go? Like 2 strangers randomly approach you in a car and just said, hey, follow us in some random parking lot somewhere.
like I said, Pokemon Go is the closest we've been as a society to world peace.
It really is. And honestly, it reinforces a lot of those peaceful notions too from the anime and just from the whole feel of Pokemon. It really does feel like a truly peaceful,
It does.
type of fandom.
But you see like the same regulars.
Oh, yeah.
I remember down where I live, I'm like, oh, let's go here. And I'm like, oh, I know who that is. I know who that is. Hey, I haven't seen you in a while. How's it going? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was great. I remember when they brought out, I think, Venusaur, Blastoise, and Charizard, they dropped it randomly. And we told this monkey, like, there's a Blastoise down the street in this alleyway. And we're all going to get it. Yeah. The grind, though, was hard back in the day because it had a silhouette and it's like 3 steps, 2 steps, 1 step.
Yeah, the step system made no sense.
It made no sense at all. Mm-hmm. But it's just, oh, let's go walk here. Oh, it's away. Wait a minute, let's go back here. Oh, no, it's away. Because I did the same thing when my wife was in grad school, and we'd just go walk around, town, and I'd be playing Pokemon. I'm like, oh, there's a Lickitung somewhere. I don't know where. Oh, 3 steps. Oh, he's gone now. Crap, let's go back. She
That's
goes,
the thing, too. They would spawn in for about a half hour, and then they were just gone.
Gone, yeah.
So you get close, and all of a sudden, like, their cell would disappear, and you're like, no, I missed it.
Oh,
damn it.
that silhouette.
That or, like, you get down to, like, your last Pokeball, and you finally confirm, and they just run away, and you're like, no, they time out. Dang it.
Yeah, that was a great time.
It was intense.
It was great. I loved it.
I wish that would happen again.
Well,
I wish there'd be like another like resurgence of Pokemon Go or something.
I think there'll be that's why it gives me hope for the future with the next generation of Pokemon. Whatever that game's going to be, I really feel like it'll actually be like, some type of vision or actual like VR type thing where they'll actually see them either wear like glasses or something.
That would be so cool.
And they're right there. It's like, whoa. Might be able to hold them.
I can maybe convince my wife. I'd be like, hey, can I spend $3,500 on Apple Vision Pros? Why Pokemon?
Yeah.
Please.
That's a good reason.
Justified, right?
That's a valid reason.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm just gonna be there and just throwing Pokeballs, imaginary Pokeballs at Pokemon.
Money well invested.
Oh yeah,
So.
I agree.
$3,500. Yeah,
I agree.
I could do that.
Tell you what, though, one thing we need to do, next time Nintendo is better to release a new Pokemon thing to that scale, let's invest.
Oh yeah.
So, because people banked on...
Oh, yeah.
And actually, Nintendo stock jumped until they came out and said, guys, that's Pokemon Company.
It tanked.
Wait, come back! Yeah.
Yeah, Niantic, I don't know what it was, but they did a great job.
Oh,
with
yeah.
that.
They kicked butt. They're still kicking butt. Although they tried to come out with a Harry Potter game.
Yeah,
And it's kind of flopped.
It kind of fizzled out. I tried
Yeah.
to play. I played it a little bit, and it just
It had too many like gizmos and gadgets
it
to
didn't
it.
capture me the same way
Yeah.
Pokemon Go did.
But there'll be more Pokemon stuff in the future, which I'm very confident about.
I'm hoping because it's thriving again.
Oh, it is.
And now with the new gens, that's what I'm trying to get my daughter into it. I'm going to buy her more plushies and be like, here you go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The slow build up.
Just had a whole corner of her room just with
Oh, I'm
plushies.
hoping. I was thinking that. I'm like, we have the 3 stars from you guys, and then my brother-in-law got a Snorlax.
Yep. So she's got the
Randomly.
4. The 4 basic. And the Snorlax she could basically lay on.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
about as big as her.
It's as big as her. She just lays
so
on it.
cute.
And she's trying to, she did lay him down on a pillow and covered him over the blanket and sleeping. And I go, you need a Poke Flute to wake him up. Just letting you know. You need a Poke Flute.
That's another thing that they never created, too. Like, you think someone would make, like, a recorder with a Poke Flute?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm sure somebody on
has
Etsy
to
or
be.
something.
Yeah, slap
has,
a Pokeball at the bottom of it like
I'm
a
sure.
recorder. Boom. Poke Flute.
But yeah,
Moneymaker.
it's still going around because I remember we our local community has like a Halloween like block party,
Mm-hmm.
and I told my wife, I'm like, we have to do Pokemon. So because we did it before at a Halloween party before.
Oh, yeah,
kids.
you guys all dressed up like Ash, Misty, and Pikachu.
Yeah, and before that, we were Ash and Misty, and we're going to Halloween way before kids. And my one buddy, his 2 friends were Team Rocket.
Oh, cool.
So when we I sprayed my wife's hair orange, like full on get up. We went all out on it.
Mm-hmm.
And when we arrived to the Halloween party, Team Rocket came out, and I just stood there and stared. And this guy actually 3D printed Pokeballs.
Oh, cool.
With the Pokemon.
That's awesome.
And threw them at us. But yeah, we dressed up with Pikachu, and and my wife's like, yeah, next year, she goes, I'm not dressed up as Misty. It got a little chilly.
Oh, I bet.
Oh, I was going to say,
With
she has
her
such
costume.
a skimpy costume for Halloween because it's freezing then.
But I remember this kid, well, the one house, they call like the Harry Potter house, but they have like butterbeer, but spiked, and like all this bourbon. So I went and talked to him, and we're having some bourbon, stuff like that. I mean, it's a big block party. And I was walking away, and this kid ran up to me. He goes, hey, I saw you like 2 streets ago, and I was running at you. I don't say your costume's the best. Ash Ketchum's the best. And I'm like, kid, you just made my day.
Right?
That is fantastic.
awesome.
That
Oh,
is
yeah.
so cool.
I've seen the pictures of you guys all dressed up, and that is such an awesome get up.
Yeah.
So
I'd say the Ash Ketchum suit was a little tight this past year. it got a little tight.
it's funny that it happens as you get older.
Oh my.
So,
Yeah.
but you actually had that. We actually finally got the original badges that we always wanted back then. You can actually buy them for like what, $20 on Amazon now.
I still want them. I'm looking at them now, and I'm like, man, those look so fantastic.
And we got the
Orange Island badges
badges.
upstairs. Yeah, they actually they're seashells. They're really cool.
I got those for you for Christmas.
Yeah, just like as a.
It was another Etsy find. Yes,
Yeah.
I found because I was looking for them, and I finally found somebody on Etsy that made them.
Because those are the only gym badges that I've never seen anybody have before. They're really cool
I
looking.
still don't remember that season.
Yeah, definitely got to rewatch them.
I
Because
do.
yeah, you remember the Charizard one though.
Well,
so.
it's like vaguely, and I'm like, oh yeah, I kind of remember that, and it's just, yeah, it's not there.
maybe it'll just slowly come back to you.
I'm hoping.
Oh yeah,
It's one thing I'm like, I don't remember that. Do I remember that? It scares me.
there's a lot to remember as we go through time here.
Yeah, I'm trying to think back in like 4th, 5th grade when you were doing it. Yeah, the cards, the games, system links. I mean, it was such a great time.
It was so many
was.
good memories with everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, trying to remember back to I miss video rental stores too. Being able to go out and like rent all those episodes and everything.
Video Safari. The legendary Video Safari.
Which nobody
I
remembers.
never got to experience Video Safari.
Fantastic.
Because I lived an hour away from where you guys did,
yeah.
and we
You wouldn't
had
have known.
we had Roadrunner Video,
Yes.
and we had Movie Gallery for a
Yes.
time. But yes, I never got to experience Video Safari,
Missed out big time.
Yeah, you go in, it's like a jungle. Hydro Thunder
which
was in there.
sounds so cool.
Oh, it was.
was
The
the
aesthetic
best.
was just amazing.
It was the best.
So, and I remember, they did have. I think they had some Pokemon games there. I remember they had Game Boy games, like Legend of Zelda and stuff like that.
Funny
So,
enough, I never went to Blockbuster.
really,
Never went to
It
Blockbuster.
was like the high class
Yeah.
video rental.
We didn't have one near us though.
We had one over by Mark's, I think.
Yes.
It was out that way.
Oh my, yeah, and they turned it into what, a Pet Supplies Plus or
Yeah,
something like that.
That's exactly what it is now.
Isn't there like one remaining Blockbuster?
Over in like Oregon or something.
The
Yeah.
Twitter account.
The Twitter account's
Oh, that Twitter
hilarious.
account's lit. That thing's hilarious.
That's hilarious.
You ever get a chance on there? They're just like, yeah, we're coming after you, Netflix. They used to have like dissing commercials. They're just like, you could wait forever for Netflix to deliver your DVDs in the mail, or you could come to a video rental store and drop off your DVDs.
I think, wasn't Captain Marvel, people were freaking out because it was based in the 80s and they got Blockbuster.
They had the
right?
Blockbuster,
Yeah.
yep.
They're like, this is perfect. They hit it on the mark.
And I do think, we kind of miss out on a lot of that today, I feel like, too. Because
Yeah.
everything's all streaming. I mean, which is really cool because we have all this stuff just available at our fingertips. A Pokemon episode, because before, you had to like tune in or buy the cassette tapes. Otherwise, you were missing it.
You had a couple of the cassette tapes.
I did, but I always wrecked the cases. I don't know why.
Do you realize how old we sound right now?
Oh, I know.
Back in my day,
VHS? What's a VHS?
we had to watch a
Home,
VHS.
home cassette tapes.
We had to rewind.
Rewind it.
Oh, my God.
Please rewind. We had the automatic rewinder sound like a
Yep.
jet, like a turbine spooling up. It's like, oh, is it going to take off?
I was always worried it was going to like rip the tape. Because that thing was just like, it would fly so fast, like rewinding everything. And now then they came out with DVDs and Blu-rays, and I was just like, click, 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 and go to chapters. Like, wow, that's really freaking handy.
Yeah, the chapters were great. Blu-ray was great. Yeah, DVDs, Blu-ray, HD DVDs that you guys talked about.
Yep. And then, do you remember Pokemon, the first movie soundtrack?
Vaguely.
That one was...
I listened to that all the time. I had that CD. I listened to it all the time.
If you pop that CD into a PC, it brought up like a whole different prompt or something. I think you were able to like print out a poster or something. It had some extra like features.
Really?
Yeah, if you popped into a computer, I'm pretty sure.
At the time, we did not have a computer.
Really?
Yeah, I grew up poor. It was not,
We were out in the country.
Yeah,
we were just, we were improvising, obviously with Pokemon and everything too.
oh,
So,
yeah. My first computer, I'm trying to remember, it was like a compact back in the day. Mm-hmm. And the screen was huge with the speakers that attached to the side. I'm like, this thing is like 3 feet wide with a screen that's this big.
Oh yeah, the giant monitors.
The big box monitors
Yep.
that took up like an entire table.
I-
And now the flat screens are just like, whoa,
all the thin screens are great.
they are.
But I had a Pokemon birthday card maker game.
I
for
did
that-
too.
For
I
the
had
computer.
There's a red and blue. I had the
Yeah,
red one.
I had the blue one.
Really? Oh my God! You could print out like special Pokemon greeting cards and like edit like stickers on it or something.
Yeah, I used to make them for my dad for his birthday. I'm like,
did the
oh,
same
happy
thing.
birthday. And he's like, this is the greatest. And now being a father. It's like my daughter would give me like the simplest thing. I'm like, oh, this is the best. And she'll just take off running that she's happy.
Do I still have the red version? I might still have it upstairs.
Oh.
I don't know if the software would still work with computers, but that is such an awesome little memento.
Mine is long gone. I don't know where that's
But I remember they had a red and blue version. Yeah. So you had blue, huh?
I had blue.
That's wild. Yeah, it was like a Pokemon, card maker.
They made everything.
Everything was Pokemon.
Made
man.
They made so much stuff.
Yeah. McDonald's really missed out, man.
They did.
Back then, yeah, because Burger King
They
had
never
the license.
had. Yeah,
Eventually, they
Burger
did
King.
later on, but I think right off the jump, Burger King's like, oh, we're buying into Pokemon.
Yeah.
Oh, they knew. They
Yeah.
made the right choice with that.
Burger King was all the rage, and I feel like McDonald's is kind of overtaking them now. So
Yeah, I feel that. Hey, this is great.
oh yeah,
Think about all this stuff.
Brings back the memories.
It
it does. Yeah, going back to the Pokemon handbooks, they had these for sale at the old Scholastic book fairs, which we talked about in our last pod.
Oh, because
That
when we talked about the book,
The
or
Scholastic
book
book fair, whenever it came in, we're just like, oh my god! And yeah, they had Pokemon stuff there. So
Yes, the posters. You try to go for it. It's like, I'm not buying a book. I'm buying a poster and like a random stuffed monkey or something that with his arms
right.
Velcroed.
they did have the poster, like the original 150.
Yeah.
Oh,
Didn't you have that?
I think I might have had one. I don't know
I
if I bought
swear
it there.
you still had that when we first started dating. I
might
swear
have.
you did.
Yeah,
I swear.
probably did.
I remember that.
They had some really cool posters. I mean, now good luck trying to see every single one. There's probably over 1,000 now. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Okay. How many Pokemon are there now?
I've lost count. It's probably at least over 1,000.
Somebody look it up. I'm curious. I want to know.
Has
Yeah.
to be over
How
1,000.
many Pokemon are
to
there
the
now?
computer.
To Google.
How many Pokemon?
But okay, one thing I meant to ask you too: have you played the new Pokemon Snap for the Switch,
No,
dude?
Oh, you
you were
need
missing
to.
out.
Do you have a Switch?
I do not.
Oh,
we
def-
should. We should show you before you
Oh,
leave
definitely.
today.
yeah, we're showing you upstairs after the pod. Yeah,
Yes.
that game invokes a lot of nostalgia from the original, and it kicks up to a whole different level because there's so much more stuff you can
This
do.
is not going to help me wanting new gaming systems. So I'm like, oh, I want this.
The Switch is going to the end of its life cycle. The new Nintendo console is going to be coming out, I think, in the next couple of years here.
Really?
Switches might go on sale.
Oh, I'll definitely buy it.
Keep an eye out for them.
There's 1,025.
1,025
So they're
Pokemon.
just over the 1,000 mark. Took them, more than about 2.5 decades?
Yeah, this is based off of Wikipedia. Thank you, Wikipedia. The number 1,000 is Goldengo. The steel ghost type is the evolved form of Gimmighoul,
Gibighoul?
which transforms
We're probably horribly botching that
level
name.
up after you collect 999 Gimmighoul coins.
Gabagoo. Got the Gabagoo coins.
Gabagoo. Well, that's like with was it Melmetal, right?
I still do not have a Melmetal because you need 400
Yeah.
candies.
There's this clunky thing you have to do with Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee and then combine it with your Pokemon Go account.
You get the mystery box.
Yeah, and you activate that thing, and for a half hour you can catch a whole bunch of Meltans or something.
because
And you
there's
evolve into Melmetal.
and I haven't done that yet. I do not have a Melmetal
And you
yet.
just collect a bunch of rare candies and just feed it.
Mm-hmm.
And you
Yes.
always wanted that shiny one.
Oh, that would be so cool.
And what color was the shiny? Was it gold?
It was like more gold.
That's
Some
a
of the
there's a
shiny-
lot of gold.
Yeah, some of the shinies you're like, is this shiny? I can't tell if this is
Yeah,
shiny.
that was with Ghastly.
Yeah, you can't tell.
You
Or
can't-
Abra.
Abra.
You cannot even tell the difference. It's just that's a shiny.
If you don't catch it at the beginning where it sparkles, it's like,
yeah.
Wait a minute.
Well, their name, I noticed, too, will be yellow.
yeah.
Above their head. That's a good way to tell if they're shiny or
Actually,
not.
speaking of shiny, I've always wanted a shiny Lickitung. And we were in your old neck of the woods.
Yeah, we stopped by our old high school. And literally in the parking lot, she's like, oh, there's a Lickitung. Clicked on it. It's gold.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
like,
and I
what
caught
the-
a shiny Lickitung.
Oh, jeez.
So,
And I caught a shiny Onyx the other day, too. I was like, oh my god, it's shiny.
yeah, just incredible luck. It's
The
been a while
one
since I got a shiny.
I'm waiting for is the shiny Bidoof.
Yes,
It's a
dude,
golden
whatever that thing-
Bidoof. I want a
That little
golden Bidoof.
buck-toothed bastard.
He's so cute.
shiny.
Hello?
Just the name Bidoof.
I know, he sounds like such a doddering little fur ball.
He's so cute though.
But dude, the name gets me.
Fucking Bidoof.
But I remember community day for Larvitar, looking at him, that one, there were so many people.
Oh, yeah.
And we caught, same friends that were grinding. They're like, if it's this CP, catch it. It is like a 15, 15, 14, or all 15.
Basically, all of his stats are maxed out.
Yeah. And I remember my buddy, we were all there, and we just got done with the gym when we're doing community day. And the guy's like, there's a a CP like 849 or 850. I've never seen my buddy run so fast in my life to go get, because it was all consistent. It's like, okay, if that CP's there, it was consistent for some accounts. He ran and he's like, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? He's catching every single one. I mean, he had his the Pokeball and he's just spamming it.
Yeah, just
spamming it.
Because if you have the Pokeball Plus, you just keep on hitting that little middle button and it'll just automatically like throw a ball for you. And it's only the Pokeballs. I don't know why it doesn't go to Great Balls or Ultra Balls.
Yeah, I don't know.
It should, but it's just Pokeballs. But this little guy, Larvitar was a Larvitar day. Yeah. I remember when I got back into Pokemon Go after you were kind of like running that high there, you had like a whole army of its evolved form Tyranitar.
T-Tars.
Yeah, you had so many.
So many.
And it was perfect against Mewtwo in raids. It would just rip them down.
T-Tars were the best against a lot of them. I mean, you had
that was a good
an army
load.
of them. Yeah. And I remember they had groups, and I had like 4 different groups based on whatever raid was going on. Like, oh, it's Articuno raid. Oh, you use this group. You use this group for Moltres. I mean, we were ready, and we had strategies. We're like, wait, just hold out a little bit. I'm gonna drop out. You drop out. We switch it. And we come back in, and we'll get this. I'm like, this is insane that you guys have a strategy for this.
Calculated it down.
And we're like, oh, do you like tap it? Do you double tap it? And we're like, oh, this matters more. And there was like some like we figured out a trick with catching them. You wait for them to like attack you, and if you hold your Pokeball down and the circle comes down, if it's like a great catch or an excellent catch, you hold it down to where it's an excellent, and then you let go. When he attacks you, you can throw it, and it holds that circle.
Oh,
so you can consistently get an excellent catch every single time.
I remember people were doing that. I'm like, how do they always get these excellent catches all the time?
We used to do that, and we used to spin it. I got good. I could spin it, curve it to the right with my thumb, just catch Pokemon.
That's all I'll do. Actually, I learned the old spin technique on my old iPhone. I just upgraded to a new one. This is longer than my old one. My spins are thrown off. I'll throw it too low now.
Really?
I'm like, man.
It took me a while to adjust to that.
Yeah, when I got a new phone, I'm like, dang it.
Remember when Pokemon Go first started?
You had that chuggy phone.
I had an Android.
I remember that.
And it was just like, and they were just like freezing up every half a second.
That thing
He's
was
like, I got logged out of my game again. Wait for me.
Oh, I remember you went with us one time, and your phone kept like freezing. And
then you finally got a new phone, and then you were running circles around us at the time.
It was
like,
so smooth, but my crappy Android, it would be so hot. I'm like, my phone's on fire, and it would just shut down because it overheat.
Yeah.
But I remember we were in the car, and I had it on the charger. I'm like, Brownie, my battery's still dying, and it's on the charger. What's going on?
We roasted those old phones. Oh my God.
That phone could not take it. It was so bad.
And I meant to bring up with you, because that was another famous moment. Like, we would go over to, you were talking about certain areas for Pokemon Go were kind of like farming grounds. Over at Lock 4?
Oh, yes, the Magikarp.
Yeah,
that was the Magikarp.
Over in Canal Fulton was like a Magikarp hub, and we were trying to finally get a Gyarados. You evolved Magikarp into Gyarados.
Yes.
And we were just, constantly catching all these Magikarp. We finally got enough. We finally evolved into a Gyarados, and lo and behold, a wild Gyarados pops up.
Yeah,
the lowest CP ever.
It was like a 300 or something like that. Like, are you kidding me?
And we ended up coming back down there the one time, and there was the old gym system. You could keep up to 10 Pokemon per given team in a gym.
Oh, yeah.
And it would take forever. There was a team there that was like a full team of 10. It was an Instinct gym, I think, which is a yellow team. And it was all Dragonites. I'm like, oh my God, no one's taking that thing down.
I remember I had a Pokemon that was at the same gym, I swear, for months.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Months.
And you could bankroll coins. As long as your Pokemon was in that gym, you get 50 coins a day. It was awesome. But we went there one day, and we're like, oh my God, someone's taking it down that gym. So James and I are just kind of sitting there waiting, and if you waited to the right moment, there was this little in-between period where the team, like it was a Team Valor, because we're both Team Mystic, and they took down this, like, literally 10 Dragonite gym that was Instinct. They finally took it down, turned gray. I'm like, go, James, go, 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 go. And we both go into it, and we both drop a Pokemon in there. Well, I forget what the heck we dropped.
I dropped a Pidgey.
Yeah, just like some generic-ass Pokemon for Team Mystic. And I remember, like, there was guys that, like, popped their head up, and they're just, like, fuming, man.
You hear them yelling. They're like, who dropped a Pidgey?
I'm like, James, let's go, 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 go.
You took off, and we were laughing. They're like, they did it.
Good memories.
That Pidgey only got me like 2 coins.
Yeah. Oh, they probably took it down so quick after that. They probably did it out of frustration.
Well, no, that gym that I left, I remember my mom and I go to Amish country every year. It was this random gym in the middle of Amish country.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not kidding.
It's perfect.
But yeah, it was there for months.
I needed to go back because I dropped when we would travel. I dropped some all
That's
over
the best way to do it. Out in the middle of nowhere.
Oh, yeah. We were up in Alaska, and I did some up there. I'm like, oh, there's a gym. I'll drop this here, and no one took it down.
And that's what spoofers used to do. They used to pick out random pokey gyms in the middle of nowhere that no one's been around. They're like, well, that's vacant. I'll drop one here. That's vacant. I'll drop one here. And they would just give constantly free coins every day.
Yeah.
Now, your Pokemon has to be there for like at least a day and then get knocked out. Then you get the coins.
Yeah.
It's some weird corrected system.
It was maxed out, what, like 50 coins?
50 coins a day. But you used to get like way more.
Yeah.
So,
no, this is great. Going back thinking about all this stuff.
oh my gosh, yeah. Lots of Pokemon.
I mean, it's just like it comes in phases. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna watch the
It
shows
does.
again. And I started watching. Carly's like, are you seriously watching this? I'm like, yes.
We'll do that too. Like, sometimes like, you want to watch Pokemon? Okay.
Yeah.
We'll go through phases, but I tell you what, honestly, starting the podcast and everything and having a Pokemon talk has inspired so many listeners that have listened into this thing. And I've gotten comments also from you and other listeners who are just like, I went back and looked for my old Pokemon games. I'm playing them again. I'm just like, yeah, well.
I found it. I'm probably going to bust it out tonight.
Oh, heck
I'll
yeah.
play some.
Do it.
Yeah, it's everything. I mean, this whole podcast has been great. You know,
Oh, yeah.
listening to like the retro games.
Thanks, dude.
And me finding out I know jack about Halo.
Kevin is, like I said,
I felt like a bystander in that podcast because I've played like the 4 of them.
Yeah.
And I thought I knew a decent amount, but I'm sitting here like,
Yeah.
that's why I said Kevin is the Halo lorist. He's literally a walking Halo encyclopedia. He's read the books. He knows the lore, everything about it. And that's why if I ever need input with him for anything regarding Halo, he'll know.
he would be a good one to have for Pokemon because he got really into
Yeah,
Pokemon
I'd
Go.
love to get him over here. I know he's been busy lately, but yeah, Kevin, if you're listening, dude, come join us for a Pokemon Roundtable. You're definitely invited. So,
Yeah. I mean, just this podcast has been great. And
yeah.
all the memories.
Right.
Listening about the LAN parties and
Jeremy and the printer ink.
the printer.
Yeah. We've had some good nuggets of fun. So,
The 2 pizza guys showing up at the house.
oh, we didn't talk about that one, did we?
Wait, 2 pizza guys.
Yeah, we did this one thing where we ordered wings from Pizza Hut and pizza from Domino's. And we both ordered through the app, and they both showed up at our house at the same time. And they were laughing their asses off. And they're just like, you delivering here? Yeah, you delivered here? Yeah. So we're just like, we make them fight over the tip? Or
Son
what do we
of
do?
death.
That was
you go.
And yeah, everybody was just laughing in the house. That was here.
Well, that,
Yeah, that wasn't back over in the country. That was here.
oh, that's right. That was here.
Yep. That was wild.
But out in the country, the LAN parties, I mean, even when like snowstorms, we came in like snowstorms. My
Oh, yeah.
dad drove me in his truck and he's like, here, I'll drop you up. There's like 3 feet of snow. And he's like,
Barreling up that hill.
Oh, my.
That thing turned into a giant ice slick after a while, too.
Yeah.
So you had to be careful.
The parties and all that stuff has been great.
I only got to experience one of the.
That was the waning days, though. You never got to
but
experience the
I never got
full
to experience
force.
the full-fledged
So
LAN party.
We got the stuff for it. We can easily get one going.
I'm ready, man.
It's just got to time up with everybody. That's the trick.
That's the bad thing. Now that we're all like adults and have
Everybody's got
responsibilities,
responsibilities, and they're going
it's
elsewhere.
so hard.
Yeah.
yeah.
But that's why it's kind of nice with the podcast, because I can kind of have you guys over like in every individual pod session and stuff like that. So we're all still together in a very roundabout way.
That's how I feel like listening. I'm like, I feel like I'm there. And I'm
Right?
just listening. I'm just talking to everybody. It's so much fun.
It is. It's a blast. So I'm glad you're loving this too.
I
It
am.
makes my heart happy.
I've been reaching. I'm like, hey, I tell my buddies, I'm like, oh yeah, you're in Halo. Yeah, here, check out this episode.
Yeah, check out my buddy's pod.
Yeah.
Hey.
I mean, we've had listeners literally from all over the world.
Have
That's
you
awesome.
seen? Yeah.
You sent me some of the stats.
Yeah, from freaking Zimbabwe of all places. Zimbabwe.
Yeah,
and
if you're in Zimbabwe, if you're listening, hello.
yeah. Reach out to our crowd overseas. So how you doing, everybody?
Send your friend code and we can trade.
Well,
Yeah.
because we've had where have we had people listening from?
Saskatoon, Saskatchewan,
Hi,
Canada.
Saskatchewan.
We had someone in Australia. Had someone from actually a couple people from the UK have tuned in. So greetings across the pond.
There we go.
So
Which is that's so crazy to think
it
about
is
that
like we're international, baby.
people across the ocean have listened to us.
Yeah.
And here we are sitting in our basement in Ohio.
Like, what are these wankers doing? All right. Well, I think that's going to wrap it up for this episode. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in for another awesome Pokemon Masters Roundtable. And thank you to James for joining us on this one.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Been awesome having you. We'll have you in for more future episodes, too. especially with Kevin too. So I feel like he'll have a lot to add to Pokemon.
You pointed to Larvitar.
I know.
Especially Larvitar.
That's the fourth person spot, so Kevin will eventually be sitting over here in that spot. So, but no, great having you. Awesome to talk about Pokemon, as always. So, and thank you for Ashley always joining me.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So we're going to wrap it up here, but thank you everybody for tuning in, and we'll see you next time on It All Depends on the Situation. Have a good one.